All right, my name is David Scott Blackwell. I'm a registered nurse and a case manager. I've been a bedside nurse for over 20 years, 22 to be specific. I graduated from the University of Mississippi Nursing School with a bachelor's degree in nursing in 1998. I was on the dean's list, and I have worked hard and diligently with my degree and knowledge to help my fellow man. And I am just blown away at COVID-19 or COLA-19 and the response that the politicians, the media, the pharmaceutical companies, the whole medical industrial complex has put forth on humanity in a Western sense or in a sense inside the United States. And I'm going to back this up because I'm going to tell you right now that healthcare does not start with an armful of shots and a shoebox full of pills. Healthcare starts at the dinner table and at the gymnasium or on the farm or working hard or doing hard manual labor. In fact, I read a book called The Fighting Bishop about Leonidas Polk, who was a Confederate general, and he lived down here in Columbia. And at the time, he was not feeling too well, kind of down in the dumps and whatnot. And he went to his doctor. This was in the 1800s, and says, I'm not feeling too good. What can I do? His doctor recommended vigorous activity and travel. And that's exactly what Leonidas did. He went on to found the University of the South, or Swanee, and became the first Episcopal bishop of Louisiana, and then a Confederate general. But let's fast forward to modern America in the 2000s or the 1900s or wherever we are today. 10 years ago, my son, 13 years ago, my son was 10 years old, and we were at the Great American Scream Machine in Atlanta, Georgia. And it took us about 2 hours to get to the front of the line. And we turned around. I wanted to see how far we had walked, and I had to take a double take. 3/4 of the children standing in line at Six Flags Over Georgia were obese. Every one of them had a 32-ounce cola with a curly straw. Fast forward 13 years. Where are we today? What are we looking at scientifically? What are we looking at socially and morally and philosophically? What we're seeing is the baby boomer population, one of the largest segments of the population, dying. They're going to die. We all die. Now, we either die of brain failure, heart failure, or lung failure, or multi-system organ failure. That's how we go. And if it's a cold or a flu or a virus or a walk up a flight of stairs that sends us over the edge or a fall that sends us over the edge, that's how this works. There's a lot of things that we can do to prolong that, maybe keep you around for another week in an ICU bed. And we spend absorbent amounts. I can't even say the word. We spend tons of money. We spend more money on healthcare the last 2 weeks of life than we do on a patient during his entire life. So we're witnessing that. We're also witnessing something more diabolical as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of healthcare workers are. I was listening to Dr. Radio out of NYU the other day, and he was talking about all the people in recovery in New York City that aren't in recovery anymore. Even in our own state of Tennessee, the statistics are showing that for overdoses, we've surpassed last year. So what are we doing with these lockdowns? We're causing even more harm. We're causing more harm for people who are going to lose their jobs and their lives and their families. My sister called me the other day and she's getting a divorce. So there's a lot of stress that's going on that will carry throughout the children. What are we doing with the children with the masking and all this? This is a cold virus, COVID-19. A lot of people are testing positive for it that have zero symptoms. And even the inventor of the test says that you can't use it to definitively diagnose an infectious process. So there's that too at play. But it just amazes me where we are, especially when it comes to the mask mandates, because A, there's no published science to say that they work, and B, the majority of the people out there are not using them correctly, and in fact, probably spreading not only COVID-19, but one of the other 199 viruses that exist that cause respiratory illness, COVID-19 being just one of them. So I'm just blown away as a father, as a clinician, as a nurse, someone who cares about the public, who cares about my fellow man, who cares about healthcare in general. But again, look around. America is obese to the core. They're supersized. Back, 13 years ago, my son watched Supersize Me, the movie. He never wanted to eat at McDonald's again. Look at our diet. Look at our cola. I walk into the hospital and I see some of my colleagues waddling in with 32-ounce colas or 32-ounce Starbucks, and I'm thinking to myself, what planet am I on? Okay? I'm not saying that everybody should be a star triathlete, but not everybody should be like supersized as well. And so this reverberates through our communities, and it really does. And people drink or smoke or eat due to pressure and or psychological issues and or stress. But we as a community and a nation are going to have to take that and do something different than drink and smoke and eat ourselves to death. Otherwise, COVID-20 is right around the corner. So it's really blowing me away. I've called Dr. William Schaffner up at Vanderbilt University. He says that the mask is going to have to become a way of life. Really? Really? What are you citing, doctor? I would like to see the studies because I don't see that. And I do home care. I go into people's homes and I see how they live and how they eat. And some of the people live in like dungeons with the television on and they're watching the news media, and the media is brought to them by the pharmaceutical companies. And there's that round robin of, I've got family members that burn up the interstate, go into the doctor's office because they've seen a pill commercial looking for that magic cure. There's not a magic cure, folks. Eating right and exercise is 3/4 of the battle, y'all. It's blowing me away. Peace.